This is a video about China and the United States of America. China appears as though they're going to emerge to be a superpower. You know what? They're starting to lead economically. Okay, robots, humanoids, buying land in the United States of America, and people are worried about TikTok and buying land by military bases and buying companies, whereas they can take the intellectual property back to China, okay, and use it, possibly weaponize it. And the humanoids that will be produced, news for you, that information will be sent back to communist China, even if they do it secretly. And the land by military bases, probably to collect data, it's a possibility. So if you enjoy this information, okay, please, you know what, stick on by, and you know what, but if you don't, we have over 1,000 videos. So let's get started up in here.
But China is catching up fast. China already has the world's second largest economy and is projected to overtake the US by 2030. If that happens, the dollar could lose its status as the world's top currency. Imagine paying for everything in yuan. China is already leading in tech, AI, 5G, electric cars. If they set global standards, we'll all be using Chinese apps, networks, and maybe even a China-controlled internet, with countries leaning towards Beijing instead of Washington. Big tech apps like WeChat and Alibaba could replace Google and Amazon. Say goodbye to Silicon Valley dominance. Through its Belt and Road Initiative, roads, ports, railways, all linking back to Beijing's influence. But here's the big question. Will a Chinese-led world be more stable or more controlled?
Even if they came to currency and got rid of physical dollars and physical coin, that was still, the United States would still be in their position. And I think that these nations like China and Russia, India, South Africa, they're realizing that, you know what, we cannot depend on the dollar bill because it is fallen in value. So we have to make our own currency. So the dollar bill cannot be weaponized. Cannot be weaponized against us anymore. And this is a danger. It is a danger. And so therefore, if it is not weaponized, I'm saying if you cannot weaponize your dollar bill against me anymore, meaning if I do something that is against your policy, against your will, you know what, I can put a sanction on you, okay, to prohibit you from conducting your daily business, to hurt you on your budget because you have invested American dollars into something, and I can put you on punishment. And I think that President Xi of China is looking at that, and I think that the Russian president, which I don't understand I understand what he's doing in the Ukraine. I think that they're looking at this on a monetarily wise. They're saying, damn, you know what? And you know what? People out there love the United States. This is where I live. But you know something? It's like the United States wants to control the whole world. And you know what? Economists said something that I look at. He said the United States wants to control the whole world. But when you look at the United States, compared to all the BRIC nations that are coming together to create their own currency, the United States, compared to the whole BRIC nation, he made a comparison. He said the United States is just 4% of the population, and BRICS, the people that are coming together to form their own currency, they are 64%. So what can 4% do against 64%? And what happens is that what happened is that number with BRICS and creating their own currency, that number is not decreasing, it's increasing. So I think at some point, these nations that belongs to BRICS, forming their own currency, they're gonna say, we will not accept the dollar bill. You can't even really concentrate on what's really going on.
Leaked documents verified by a leading think tank reveals Russia may be teaching China how to drop tanks and troops from a plane. It says it's clear why the Chinese want this training.
It's actually a very critical component which is needed for China being ready to invade Taiwan.
When China invades Taiwan, the futures will the USA go to war to protect Taiwan? The long-standing official U.S. policy toward the defense of Taiwan in the event of an invasion by China has been one of strategic ambiguity. The legal framework, Taiwan Relations Act (TRA). The Taiwan Relations Act of 1979 is a U.S. domestic law that governs the unofficial relationship and is key to the U.S. commitment. It states that U.S. policy is the USA provide Taiwan with arms of a defensive character to enable it to maintain a sufficient self-defense capability, to maintain the capacity of the United States to resist any resort to force or other forms of coercion that would jeopardize the security or the social or economic system of the people on Taiwan. The bottom line, if China were to invade Taiwan, the U.S. decision to go to war would be a political decision made by the President and Congress at that time, rather than a foregone legal requirement.
U.S. intelligence says China's People's Liberation Army is also rapidly expanding its rocket force. Well over 3,000 missiles, new missile bases up and down the Chinese coast facing Taiwan. This base built in just 2 years. Look at these satellite images from 2020 and 2022. They're even putting new bases in old buildings.
This is where the artillery brigade of the 73rd Army Group is stationed. Now, what's unique, they used a deserted textile factory as their base.
Joseph Wen is an open source researcher in Taiwan. For the past 4 years, he's been using satellite imagery to map out China's massive military footprint.
What you're looking at on this map now is Pingtan, the closest point of China to Taiwan. And there are many long-range artillery units at this location, established at the end of 2022, right after Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan.
So what does it tell you that China is bolstering its artillery bases that are within firing range of Taiwan?
In recent years, China has put more focus on lower cost and higher volume long-range artillery, which could deplete Taiwan's reserve of air defense missiles.
China's rocket force has been rocked by corruption scandals, and no one knows how well its missiles perform in actual combat. Experts warn sheer numbers could overwhelm Taiwan's defenses. The island is responding. with military drills, turning city streets into combat zones, subway stations into mock battlegrounds. A message to the public: be ready.
There are thousands of bomb shelters here in Taipei because people would have a matter of maybe 2 or 3 minutes if China were to fire those missiles before they would arrive here in Taiwan, Aaron. Experts say China's military buildup is the largest the world has seen since before World War II. And while the PLA has surpassed Russia in almost all areas militarily, the airborne forces, I'm told, are an exception because Russia's airborne forces actually have combat experience while the PLA does not. But Aaron, they certainly seem to be preparing for it.
All right, thank you very much, Will Ripley.
If you enjoyed the video and you learned something, do not forget to like, share, and comment on the video footage. It helps my YouTube channel by sending a signal to the internet algorithms to share the video with other social media video watchers. Hey, do not go anywhere. We have over 1,000 videos for you to watch. Thank you for watching.
Since they are in debt, since the United States is in debt with these countries, they kill me. It's funny. It's not really funny to me. They talk about, oh, TikTok is evil. TikTok is evil. Okay, TikTok is a social media platform. Okay, they're collecting our information. They're collecting our information. You know what doesn't make it? It's craziness to me. Okay, is you're hollering about TikTok, China having TikTok, and they're harvesting the information and using it for the CCP. I'm talking about the Communist Party in China. But the thing is, what's mind-boggling to me is that China, this president leader, this president chief, they're buying farmland and they're buying companies in the United States of America, and they have bought farms that are right next to military installations. They have bought corporations in the United States of America, and they have you. So therefore, once you buy a company, that intellectual information is yours. And they used it, weaponized, done it in a smart way. You know what I'm saying? The masses are concentrating on TikTok, a social media platform, where here it is, China is buying up so much land and companies in the United States, and even buying land by military bases, which would give them the ability, if they really, really wanted to, to collect information and metadata and transmit and get transmissions and collect data. If there was something to really, really break out in the United States, and it gives China an edge. It gives China an edge, which they are partner with the Soviet Union. I mean, not Soviet Union, I mean Russia. And it gives them an edge. And China is also buying a multitude of land in Africa, because they know, in spite of what people used to say about the United States, people swing from trees and all that, it is a country that is rich. And minerals like copper, platinum, and they're buying it up. And genius thing about it is, you know what they're doing is they're giving leaders loans in Africa. They're giving them, and they know they've already calculated. Damn, you know what? We're gonna give this to them. They will never have the ability to pay it back. But we're giving them, but to the thing is, for collateral, okay, to make sure if they don't pay the debt, we will include in the contract of the agreement that, you know what, we could take over this port. And what happened is this ports that are in Africa in strategic positions, they will say we will put your Africans to work if we do take over, but that is not their intentions. And the thing is, they will have ports all over Africa, and they're buying up Africa, buying it up. And the thing is, that will give them more control. That will give them much more control than what they. I'm not gonna say them what they wanted, and I would say that U.S. is being outsmarted because they want to do things the old way.
Video and you learned something, do not forget to like, share, and comment on the video footage. It helps my YouTube channel by sending a signal to the internet algorithms to share the video with other social media video watchers. Hey, do not go anywhere, we have over 1,000 videos for you to watch. Thank you for watching.
Bye.